Hey, Blue Table fans! It's time for another show and tell where I show you some cool stuff and tell you all about it. I don't know if that is a very good introduction. I'm here at Fayette 212, which is now, I think, my favorite source for rumors. And let's take a look. We've got Dark Angels coming, and supposedly they are one of the armies coming out in the basic set. For those of you just now entering the hobby, what happens is for, say, Warhammer 40K, there's always an introductory set where you can, it's meant to be kind of like your first hit is free, or at least relatively inexpensive. And so way back when it had like in the 90s, it had like Dark Eldar versus I think it is Black Templars, and then they had Battle for Macrage box set, which had Tyranids versus Marines, Ultramarines ostensibly, and then we had the most recent one, Assault on Blackreach, which had Orcs and Space Marines. And in terms of value, these box sets really have a lot of great figures in them, but of course that drives their value down, so they're very inexpensive. And you have to watch it because, so for example, if they put a Space Marine Dreadnought, it means that, well, why would you buy a $45 Space Marine Dreadnought kit and not the Assault on Blackreach that has like, 100 other models for 90? Well, the answer is typically the quote real kit is actually more detailed, has more parts. So Dark Angels playtest rules. Let's take a look at these. So I'm now reading this out loud. Isn't that wonderful that you don't have to do all of that laborious looking at words and letters? These are given to me with the condition to make it known that these are already almost 2 months old. With that said, these are playtest set for Dark Angels, and I, for one, am very much considering. Please remember that these are from a playtest set of rules and are already a couple months old. This means there are a lot of things that could change, be altered, added, or completely deleted. Take a look at that whirlwind. Okay, here it comes. Dark Angels rules are, and they shall know no fear. That's ATSKNF, right? And Combat Squad and Stubborn. HQs are all fearless. Okay, that's different. HQ Osrail up to weapon skill 6. His gun is now Master Crafted Assault 2, 12 inches, one-shot plasma on top of a bolter. Basically Assault instead of rapid fire, but can't fire at long range. By the way, that is better notably than Combi Plasma, which is typically how those guns work. You have a bolter and then you kind of have something taped onto it. Belial, also weapon skill 6. I wonder what it was before. I think it was 5 before, but it's now 170 points, but still unlocks Deathwing as troops. That's DW. Those are Terminators, and to me, this is interesting because I thought that they were shying away with things where an HQ choice would change the Force org chart. So apparently I'm wrong. Dark Eldar come to mind. There's something I think where Hellions become troops choices. Okay, Interrogator Chaplains, 140 points. All units within 12 inches are fearless. Not just his own squad. Reroll misses and wounds and challenges. That's fantastic. Interrogator Chaplains that win challenges against independent characters give you +1 victory point in a mission that uses victory points. That is absolutely brutal. And this ties into what we were talking about yesterday, which is associative rules. That they have some rule that kind of ties into their background. Supposedly, Interrogator Chaplains are a little like witch hunters. Like they go out and find, enemies, and bring them to justice, so to speak. Elites. Chaplains are now elites and cost 100 points. By the way, that is along the lines of the Blood Angels Codex, which was by the way, a lot of this is my own commentary, and I hope you can notice the change in tone when I shift to that mode. But if not, oh well. I don't know what you're going to do. So anyway, Blood Angels, I think, was the codex where they started that by making these sanguinary priests into elites. So it was like a character's like, oh wow, now I can take up to 3 of these or whatever for you know, a single choice. And I absolutely love that. I think I'm all for flexibility. Anything that's done to make something more flexible is great in my book. For some reason, my throat is really, really itchy and dry. I was eating a lot of peanuts earlier. I think that was it. Okay, so at the start of the game, they nominate a model in the squad they're attached to be their banner bearer, who must be model appropriate with the specific banner. If the chaplain later leaves the squad, the banner remains. Okay, Furious Charge Universal Special Rule. Reroll armor saves against Overwatch wounds when charging a unit within 6 inches of an objective. That's awesome. Counterattack Universal Special Rule. Reroll misses with Overwatch when within 6 inches of an objective. Oh, that's great. Changing so much to be objective specific. Reroll wounds against models within 6 inches of an objective with shooting. Reroll wounds in close combat that takes place within 6 inches of an objective. Note, these are playtest rules, hence why these all seem very similar. Either they're intended to have a theme or they're intended to be playtested, and the most popular is kept. Deathwing Terminator squads. Now, before I read this, you should know that inside army lists, there's sub-army lists. And in the Dark Angels list, there's traditionally been 3. There's been the regular Dark Angels, which is kind of like vanilla Marines. Dark Angels have been traditionally a, quote, shooty army, unquote. There's also Deathwing, and so those are like Terminators with like bone white armor. And typically, a Deathwing army used to have like a couple Dreadnoughts, 2 or 3 Land Raiders, and 20 to 30 Terminators. And it was a great army. It was one of the cheapest ones to produce because of the low model count. It's extremely handsome. If you go out there and look, you can just find some that are converted just to the 9s. And you've got whatever it is. In fact, hold on a second. Let me just see if I can pause this. Double click to pause. All right, you know what? We're going to go on Cool Mini or Not now and just look at some Deathwing models. The thing I love about Cool Mini is that you can put into the, when you go to Browse Gallery, you can put in a range of scores so that everything's rated 1 through 10. I usually put in 8 through 10 if I really want to be inspired. So here's this guy. This would be probably a Belial. In fact, right here you can see on his banner he has that. Here's a Land Raider. Look at that. Oh, ridiculous, right? That is just really fantastic. Lots of good stuff on there. I think that's a Forge. Well, that might not be a Forge World front hatch right here. All right, let's move on. Let's go to, look at that. That is an Apothecary with an assault cannon. Look at that Deathwing Brother Apothecary. Oh, so much detail on that. That is just resupular. By the way, that's a word I just made up. Here's a Deathwing Land Raider. So definitely something to look at there. This seems to be a pretty simple paint job there. Let's go ahead and look at one more thing. Here's a Deathwing Dreadnought. Oh, look at that. I'm pretty sure that's a Forge World plasma cannon. Could be wrong on that. Let's go ahead and scroll down. Come on, be good to me now. Don't make this difficult. Look at that. Typical base has got like a little dead Tyranid there. So not too shabby. That looks like a venerable Dreadnought chassis on that one. All right, let's get back to Fayette 212. Okay, Deathwing Terminator squads are 215 points base. That's 43 points each, by the way. Can swap to Lightning Claws for free, pay 5 points for Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and only models with Stormbolt or Power Fist or Chain Fist can take the Cyclone Missile Launcher upgrade, which is now 30 points. No big changes there. Deathwing Assault works a little bit differently. All Deathwing units and models in Terminator armor attached to Deathwing units now come down on the first turn via Deep Strike without a roll if you wish to make a Deathwing Assault. Boom! It specifically notes, however, the limitations of no more than 50% of your army being allowed in reserve. And well, isn't that the normal rule in 6th Ed now? And the independent characters, whether attached to a squad or not, count as a unit. Okay, and again, these are supposedly playtest rules. Dreadnoughts are a bit cheaper on points base, can be upgraded to venerable, and can upgrade their dreadnought close combat weapon to any ranged weapon, not just missile launcher or autocannon. Now, that is in keeping with the Dark Angels, that they are a shooty army. Sternguard are in, but can swap their bolter for a close combat weapon if they want. Any model can upgrade their close combat weapon to a power weapon, Lightning Claw, Power Fist, or Thunderhammer. Well, that's the versatility we've come to expect. Any model with a close combat weapon swap their bolt pistol for a storm shield or take a combat shield. Scouts are elite. That actually is no surprise there. Troops is where you got to look for the fun stuff. Tactical squad starts with 5 models. Take a special weapon. Flamer, free, melt-gun, plasma gun. That's pretty typical. Buy up to 5 more models at 15 points each. This is all nothing surprising. At 10 models, they can take a heavy weapon. Nothing really surprising there. Fast attack. Oh, by the way, that was the 3rd of the Dark Angels type armies, which is Raven Wing. So a Space Marine chapter has supposedly 1,000 guys in it. So, and they're 1,000 guys. So kind of like a Roman legion, and they're divided into groups of 10 groups of 100, which are called companies. So the first company is the Death Wing. Those guys have Terminator armor. And then you have, I do believe it is companies 8 through 10 or 9 and 10 are supposedly Raven Wing, which are are black. So you've got 3 distinct color schemes in the Dark Angels army. In fact, let's spin on over to Cool Mini or Not. Scroll back up. I'm going to enter a search string. Here we go. It is Raven Wing. Okay, so that calls up this page. You're only going to see part of it. So what we do is we zip right on over here. You'll see scores from whatever to whatever. I'm going to change that to 8 to 10. I'm going to run over here to go. And now I'm only going to see the most awesomely painted Raven Wing stuff in existence. Blam! What now? Oh, gotta love it. Let's see if I can just find something really cool on here. Wow, there's actually not that much on here. And it's all like Samael. Okay, well, here's some Raven Wing stuff. Let's just go to that. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Oh, that's neat. I guess if I had not been so narrow in my search. So Raven Wing are black, and they have this sword, and this winged sword sort of symbol on them. And there actually is an upgrade sprue that has these really cool winged fairings for the bikes, and that is absolutely super. You'll notice this guy has his guys on capsule bases, which is a nice feature, and some really good base work on there too. So let's go ahead, just X out of these. Hold on, is there something else? You know, let's make our search 7 through 10 and see if we still find stuff that's cool. By the way, Cool Mini or Not, fantastic site for inspiration and a good company. We've met them a couple of times at Adepticon, and I quite frankly really like them. Oh, here's their game. Everything dies. Dark Age. Wah! So yeah, pretty good game, I might add. We have not put it on our personal roster, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down, see if there's any other. So Raven Wings is like a bike army. And by the way, bikes did get a boost in 6 that they can be auto-killed. Now this one's different. It's green. That's not technically right. And we can't have anything that's not right, that's not officially according to the officialness. No! You can have anything you want if that's what you like. And that's what I love about 40K, because it's so customizable. Yeah, you know, I'm just not feeling it. Here's some land speeders. So Raven Wing army is like land speeders and bikes and stuff, attack bikes and whatnot. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. So instead of flying stands, this one guy has like a big old rock pile or whatever. All right, let's get back to Dark Angels rumors. Oh, no, that's the other thing. Heavy Sport Predators can take 2 plasma cannon turret option. That's neat. Whirlwind can switch their Vengeant Castellan missiles for Hyperios missiles at 15 points. I don't know what Hyperios missiles are. Maybe somebody can tell me what that's all about. All right, folks. I think you've had enough good stuff for the day, so I am cutting you off. I'm cutting you off and sending you home. Time to go to bed.